What's up, everybody? It's your favorite jump starter's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Transbots. I gotta be honest with you. Runabout or Runamuck. I can't keep them straight, but we'll call it Fast. And the other one is Fury, which we'll be looking at here soon. But yeah, so I want to shout out Agabus for this because he went ahead and shipped these to me before he charged me because he knew that time was of the essence for me with these guys. So I definitely do appreciate that, Hanny. I appreciate it. Check out Agabus. All right, but before we check out Agabus, let's check out some accessories. Accessory-wise, he comes with just a pistol, which is very un-Transbots of them. But you have the kind of X on there, decent enough sculpt work, black plastic. I don't think it's painted. And it can be stored in the bottom of the car mode with two pegs that go into each side of the size, like the same pegs that go into the palm of his hand, peg into the side of the car. And he'll hold that just fine with a peg into the palm of his hand in typical Masterpiece fashion. And let's take a look at the vehicle mode. So, rolls like a champ. I love the kind of chrome wheels on this thing. That looks good. Both sides. Nice pearlescent metallic paint for the white. Kind of like a smoked out translucent for the windows here. And then this back one I think is also smoked out. Just perhaps more so. Underside is very clean. All sorts of bells and whistles in regards to this that I'm not sure how I feel about yet. And I'll get back to you as time goes on. But the hood pops open, right? So you can kind of see the engine stuff underneath. The headlights do come up, but I have had a problem with them in the past coming up, so I'm not sure that I'm going to show them to you here. If I do, I'll cut it in. And there, I got one. It's just a tight tolerance. You put enough pressure on the back end. I can't even get this one, but it'll pop up and then close back down. The doors open up as well. If I can, there. On both sides. And then there's like this, I guess that's what gives it the kind of, I don't know. Oh, no, that's just faux. But the doors open up as well, you know, and my thing is I'm not sure. We've seen them do stuff like this before where they include all of this stuff for that purpose, but then it ends up sacrificing something later on. And if that's the case here, then I can already tell you it's not worth it, but I haven't really dug into this guy yet, so to speak. Black line work looks good. The handle looks good. The keyhole looks good. The blinker lights look good. Brake lights look good. This little black details here on the vents look good at intakes, and yeah, looks good to me. There it is next to Tiger Track, so pretty much perfect MP car. And here they both are next to one another, so you can kind of get an idea for what that's like, and I think they look good together. So let's get it transformed. I do want to say that, like, when you open this, you can get this piece out too to slide with it so you can see the steering wheel and all that, but it's like, it's pretty jammed up here on mine at the moment. So, anyway, open up these car doors and untab these side pieces here that peg into the legs, the upper thighs. And then you also want to peel these pieces down underneath the tires on both sides, like the fender, which should allow you to kind of bend the car in half, keep track of all this stuff. Let's see if we can split this. Oh, maybe it was that. There you go. It was the gun. All right, separating the kind of upper body from the lower body here. I'm gonna go pretty slow here, mainly for myself. So we're gonna open up this. We're going to rotate down. These tires have to flip. So now the problem is, which way do they go? Okay, they gotta go this way. So spin these 180, and then this tire rotates down so that it forms the flat area of the foot. You can also utilize a double hinge here, sort of give yourself a little bit more room. And then this has to go up over on this side. And then this goes back here, I believe, but this, I think, bends. Hold on. Oh, no. This just goes back there. We're going to get this panel up as far as we can and rotate this piece under. We're going to get this panel out and this panel out. And then this, we're going to swing outwards and collapse. I think just collapse our window as far as it'll go. That will give you the clearance to spin this panel 180. You can rock the knee down, close that little panel there on the side, swing this back around, and then this needs to spin. Tight little joint, use caution. Maybe that. And oh, something is not right. Maybe this has to. There. Whew. And I'll try to do it a little bit cleaner on the other foot, but that's it. And this can be tidied up a bit more. I'm going to show it better on this side. I think I got it down pat a little bit now. I'll say that and then I'll screw it all up. But let's get our hip skirts out of the way so we can manipulate this a bit better. All right, open this panel up here. If you want to, you can go ahead and collapse that. All right, bring your foot down and then rock it down just to give yourself some space. We need to get this wheel, whoop, part of my progress. We need to get this wheel on the opposite side here. These wheels spin 180. This wheel flips back down. This fender piece needs to move, for one. Comes up like that. And then this piece flips over and just sort of sits there. All right. Then we have all of this. So this set of panels comes out, and then this panel comes out, and this panel comes forward. Get your car door out of the way, rotate that. Ugh. Oh, you know what? Maybe I have to move this. Okay, sorry. Take this piece, swing this out. That will allow you to rotate this 180 the other way. Then, if you bend the knee, you can rock it down, close this little panel here on the side. Then, you can bring back this panel, rotate your car door around, and what you need to do, and this gets a little tricky, is just rotate the window here so that it will slide into there. There's a front tab that needs to meet up with the shin. That will help secure it in order to line these back tabs up that are a little bit more solidifying. And then you have the leg done. Rotate that piece down and then situate the feet. Let's free up these arms. Move them out to the side. The shoulder pad comes down. This hinges outward. Right? I need to see like what it looks like in the end. And let's see here. We got to open up these wrists. So you just got to pull on it. The forearm to get it out is just very scary because it's a little tight. So same thing over on this side. We're going to spin this out. Collapse this section. We're just getting these out of the way for now. Pull down on the forearm. Spin out the hand. Take these pieces. Pull them out. And then wrap up this section and your wheels, and this is going to be a little challenging for me because I have one section here that's like seized up. All right, now before you move the backpack down, let's get the waist locked in. So move this down to here. It'll be a little bit of a gap. Push it down, and it'll line right up. And then that will allow you to bring this over. There's 2 tabs here that'll tab into 2 pegs there. And then a tab here that will go into a slot there. And there. And let's finish strong. So these 2 little half circle pieces, the outer one needs to go on top of the inner one, and then this rotates in, this bumper's on a double hinge, and that rotates forward. So same on this side, in, down, and then collapse. Now, just to make sure, and we could do some cleaning up, some stuff has kind of naturally happened, but, you know, manipulate the shoulders so that they are anatomically correct. Spin the head. (180). And a couple things you can do to make sure it's right. For one, easy thing to miss is this collarbone section needs to kind of be sitting flush with the chest. This last little grip here grips this back window. Make sure that the abdomen is flush with the pelvis, which is another kind of hurdle to overcome. And I think that's it. Make sure that the backpack is, of course, pegged in, and that the top here sits in a groove. You'll see it when you do yours. And yeah, and I think that's it. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. And we'll get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis. It's beautifully painted. Decent enough sculpt. You know, I dig it overall. The head is on a ball peg. You get good down. Not really anything up. Side to side is fine. Not a whole lot of wiggle room, and some tolerances. There's some tolerance issues here throughout. I'll try to explain them as we come by. Totally painted, except for these 2 armatures here, 1 and 2. The red eyes look great. All right, let's back out, brush them. End of discussion. We have a joint here. It's a little too tight because this joint is the joint that it wants to utilize, and you don't really get anything out of that joint vertically. Moving it around, you hear how tight that is. Nice butterfly, though. No complaints there. Fully painted, so no issues there. Bicep swivel. Single... No, that's a double, right? No, single jointed elbow for 90 degrees. Wrist swivel. Fingers on a base pen knuckle with tight writer fingers. Couple little line works done on the arms, but nothing really noteworthy. All right, waist swivel, ab crunch. Hips, we have hip skirts. We'll go ahead and get them up and out of the way. Oh, wait, these don't hinge, just on the side. That's right. Tight joint there. Get you out to there and there. So not the full, we'll go ahead and back out as well. Not the full Van Damme, but probably more than you would ever need. Down, down, ratcheted forward, ratcheted backward. Going with a backward movement, it might put some strain. Let me check that again. Let's tab back in this backpack here. All right, let's watch closely. So it makes the backpack come undone a little bit too. But otherwise, surprisingly good for mine. But it does untab that backpack. All right, we're tabbed back in. Thigh swivel, tight joint there. I guess it's technically a double jointed knee, but you really only get the one, but either way you get way past 90 degrees. So that works okay. Ankle tilt up, or down rather, up, and a rocker. So that all works okay. Aesthetically, I think it's fine. It doesn't really wow me necessarily, but I think it's fine. The feet definitely looks super unfinished from most angles, but from many angles, it's like I've posed them and stuff, it hasn't really bothered me, but it is unsightly. But like, to me, this is nowhere near as bad as like the Takara Bumblebee, but both leave a lot to be desired, to be fair. And that's this guy in a nutshell. There he is from the back. Size comparison wise, there he is with like an old school Masterpiece car to give you somewhat of an idea. So he's slightly taller than kind of your standard Carbots, which I think is fine. A lot of the Season 3 stuff was bigger in general. And there he is with his mold mate that we'll be looking at here, I think, on Wednesday. So there you have that. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negative. Look, I think the issue here is clearances and tolerances. That's the big issue. Some of the joints are too tight, some of them are too loose. As you go to pull on some, it has a tendency to pull others apart. The shoulders is a great example, but the knees and the ankles kind of fall into the same category. Talk about clearances, you can't really move the hips a whole lot because there's not a whole lot of room for clearances with the side hip panels. In a lateral motion, when you move it forward and back, you have to be mindful of the abdominal pieces that swing down. Once again, accountability for clearances. Limited elbows, I'm not really used to that with X-Transbots. And the feet are at best unsightly, at worst fugly. Not their best work there. I also don't feel like the transformation had that same intuitiveness that the Bigelow did, so to speak. And coming right off the heels of that, I gotta admit, I was a bit disappointed. Positives-wise, the paint job is absolutely stunning. The materials feel good. The majority of the articulation works well as long as you account for the clearances and tolerances. Car mode looks great. However, I do feel like they made some sacrifices to pull off the gimmicks that no one really cares about, with the doors swinging open, the headlights, and all that jazz, the hood, etc. A little light on the accessories too, man. But I think it looks pretty good in the end. I think the car mode looks great. I think the bot mode looks really good. But between the clearances, the tolerances, the lack of an intuitive transformation, the feet, little bit limited articulation in the hands and elbows, etc., limited head movement, so to speak. Like, I feel like this one feels like it's a little uncooked. Like, it just needed to stay in the oven a little bit longer. But what's the chances of getting another Masterpiece Runabout and Runamuck? So make your decision accordingly. I'm okay with my purchase, but I am slightly disappointed after coming off their long haul, so to speak. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.